Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Today's video we are going to be getting back into the rebuild challenges, and today we have the rookie contract rebuild. This is one I've done before, and this is one that you guys asked me to do. It's basically as simple as it sounds. Every player that is in this rotation must still be on their rookie contract. At no point in time may I extend any of these players. I can't give them their qualifying offers, nothing like that. Basically, the first 4 years of their NBA career, they are locked up on their rookie deal, and after that, either I have to trade them, or if I let them go to year 4, then they expire, and I have to let them go into free agency. It's a tough challenge, but I've done it before, and I've won a championship, and we're hoping we can do that again today. And as always, let me know any other rebuild ideas, whether they're challenges, normal rebuilds, whatever you guys want to see down below in the comment section. You guys are new around here, do me a favor, hit that sub button, stick around a while, and yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Other than this, I'm happy to get back into the challenges, and I know you guys have been excited to see them. And I think this is going to be a really fun one to start off with today. So let's get into it. So we will be doing a fantasy draft. I feel like that makes the most sense. There are definitely some teams out there in the NBA right now, maybe like, I don't know, let's say the Oklahoma City Thunder that obviously have a lot of players on rookie deals. But there's also some teams that are a little bit older, like the Clippers per se. So I think a fantasy draft makes the most sense. We're just going to randomly scroll, and I'll randomly stop just so you know I'm not cheating in any way, shape, or form. And 3, 2, and 1. We ended up with the Detroit Pistons. They are going to be my team. We are going to get into the draft, and we have the second overall pick. Every time I do a different kind of fantasy draft, I always get screwed because I always end up with like such a low pick. In today's video, we end up with the second overall pick. And obviously, I'd love to have an Embiid, a Giannis, a Jokic, literally any of these players. But none of them are really on their rookie contracts. Now, when does Ja Morant's expire? I believe it's after this season. I can't really look, can I? For me, it doesn't really make much sense to do that. The most sense it makes for me is to draft guys from the 2022 draft, 2021 draft, and then obviously once we get to the drafts in the 2023, 2024, stuff like that. So I guess filtering by age is probably my best option here. I think Paolo Banchero would be a great pick. Obviously, was the #1 overall pick last year. I also like Cade Cunningham a lot, and we have a lot of options right now in terms of who we can pick. Besides Luka Doncic, everybody's available. Chet Holmgren also could be an interesting piece. I know he progresses decently well. So I think Cade's going to be my first pick just because I've seen how well he actually can progress in this game. LaMelo is still on his rookie contract, but he'll only have that for, 2 more seasons? Makes me a little bit nervous, and Cade will have an extra one, so he'll have him the entire video. Evan Mobley's an absolute monster as well. Could go Mobley. I actually like Evan Mobley quite a bit. Or do I want Cade? You know what? Give me Evan Mobley. I don't really ever draft him. Maybe Cade will be there next time we make a pick. I don't really know what's going to be happening, but I'm just going to try to sim through this as fast as possible. Obviously, this is also a snake draft, so it's basically how fantasy works. So you're just going to have the next bottom pick. And Cade Cunningham literally just went. That sucks. All right, who is still here for me in terms of some other players? I'm going to show you guys the first 3 picks, and I'm going to make the rest myself. It's just going to take way too long if I don't do that. So let me just keep scrolling through. Ben Mathurin is here. Chet Holmgren is here. Now, I don't play with injuries on, so it's a possibility that he could actually be a really good piece for me, and that would really settle our front court for the remainder of this video. But I feel like I really want to go out and get somebody who's just a little bit higher up there. And honestly, I'm not really seeing anybody right now that's going to be too beneficial to me. So it sucks we had to obviously not draft Cade. Who is the #1 player here? Was it Jalen Duren? Yeah, it was. Shaden Sharp, Jeremy Sohan, Branham. There's a lot of good talent here. I mean, there really is. But you know what? For me, we're going to take #2 overall pick, Chet Holmgren. It's going to completely figure out our front court, and then we now have another pick immediately here. And yeah, so let's just see who else could we potentially be interested in. Jabari Smith Jr. Don't really need. I need some sort of guard here is really what I'm kind of coming down to and realizing. So Ben Mathurin, he's not a guard, but he honestly could be a really good pick. We've all seen him progress really well, and obviously, never mind. Jaden Ivey's going to be my guy. I'll see you guys with the team. I'm just going to go ahead and figure out the rest of this draft. So I made about 9 or 10 picks, and this is the team that we ended up with. It's not great. It's definitely not anything too special, but we do obviously have some nice young talent. And we're going to have some guys that are going to progress pretty well. So the point guard's the weakest spot, without a doubt. Ty Washington Jr. will most likely be starting for me, with Blake Wesley as his backup. Frank Ntilikina was somebody who was drafted by the CPU. The shooting guard spot's actually really good. Jaden Ivey, Shaden Sharp, and Brandon Boston Jr. I mean, those are all really good shooting guard options in my opinion. And all guys that could potentially be here the entire video. I don't know how it's really going to pan out. It really all comes down to, do I really want to put any of them at the point guard spot for year 1? And like, I don't know. I mean, what does Jaden Ivey go to if I move him to the shooting guard spot? I hate how you can't edit at that menu. He actually goes up to an 80, so I guess Jaden Ivey's going to be my point guard here in year one, and then we'll have Shaedon Sharpe, Brandon Boston Jr. as my 2 shooting guards. I have to figure out the small forward spot. I thought I drafted Ben Mather, and then I forgot I took Jaden Ivey instead. So the small forward spot's definitely going to have to be figured out. We have Evan Mobley, Jabari Smith Jr., so 2 tremendous power forwards for the future of this video. And then actually 2 really good centers with Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. So we still need to figure out our small forward spot, so we got to go find that trade. I'm going to go ahead and try to get AJ Griffin here from the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going to offer them Frank Ntilikina and Troy Brown Jr., 2 guys that 1 can't be and 2 wouldn't be in the rotation. Either way, AJ Griffin obviously was a first-round pick last year, and he would definitely be an upgrade over MarJon Beauchamp, who will probably be the backup small forward at this point. So they don't want to do that. How about if I just give you a bunch of seconds instead? Is it possible to get... Okay, they want Ibaka. That's actually fine by me. Ibaka is not going to be in the rotation, obviously. A 2027 first kind of hurts, but for a guy that's going to be in the starting 5, it's actually kind of fine by me. And Larry Nance Jr. can come back, and I might try to get a draft pick for him or something. So I believe we have 10 guys between Jaden Ivey, Ty Washington Jr. We have Shaedon Sharpe, Brandon Boston Jr., AJ Griffin, MarJon Beauchamp, Mobley and Smith Jr., and then Holmgren and Jalen Williams. So I'm going to try to maybe get some draft picks, one for Caleb Martin and Larry Nance Jr. I don't really need anybody else on this team, so let's just maybe look and just see kind of what the value is for these 2. I mean, what are these? It is a first-round pick, but it looks like they're swaps. I mean, if there's nothing else, I'll probably just take it. I don't need them on the roster, and I could trade them in the offseason, but it feels a little cheesy. So I'll take a first-round draft pick. Also, I forgot to turn off previously traded draft picks, so that's completely my fault, but classic. The majority of the time, I actually have been remembering to turn them off, but in today's video, I guess I just fell asleep. So, yeah, nothing here. Nothing in terms of draft picks. I mean, Malden's here. It's not a horrible option. Anthony Lamb. I don't want to play MarJon Beauchamp a little bit. Isaiah Roby is not... Yeah, actually, that might be a second contract. Second round pick in their contracts always confuse me because I feel like some of them could be 4 years, some of them are 2. So I'm not really seeing anything here. Trenton Wofford's here. You know what? Why not? It's fine by me. He's not going to play, but it's still, you know, a rookie contract guy. Let's set the rotation. Here's how we're going to be looking for year 1 in Detroit. This is not a great team, especially when you have the 2nd overall pick. You know, you were hoping to get a superstar. I don't know. I'm still happy with our Evan Mobley pick. I mean, again, are there better players I could have drafted? Probably. But I like Evan Mobley a lot. I think he's really, really good. And you know what? We'll find out at the end of the video, I guess, if it was the right pick or not. It's going to be Jaden Ivey, Shaedon Sharpe, AJ Griffin, Evan Mobley, and then Chet Holmgren here starting at our center spot. The bench unit, Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Williams, Brandon Boston Jr., MarJon Beauchamp, and Ty Washington Jr. I'm going to run through this and just confirm that everybody here has at least another year left, because if they don't, I am basically screwed. I didn't realize how many 2022 draft picks we really got. Brandon Boston Jr. is still good. Beauchamp's good. Griffin's good. Watford doesn't really matter. I don't really need him. And, yeah, I believe that's everybody. Correct? Did I not go down and get, like, Ty Washington? He's good. All right, I will see you guys at the end of year 1. It's probably not going to be a great year. So I knew we weren't going to be a great team in year 1. I think that was a little bit of an understatement. We went 12-70. Which is obviously very bad, but we wanted a high draft pick. So, I mean, at the end of the day, who really won? But, I mean, 12-70 is not great. I hope it doesn't fuck up any of these players' progression. Jason Tatum winning an MVP, something that, you know, we all want to see happen. Don't hate. We all want to see happen at some point in time. Almost happened this season, and then, yeah, he became bipolar with his basketball game, but you know what? I still love you, JT. Jaden Ivey does win Rookie of the Year. I think that's maybe the one highlight of this season for us. Almost 21 points, almost 4 boards, 6 assists. He's a good player. He progresses really well. Russell Westbrook, 6th Man of the Year over in Sacramento. Nikola Jokic, what? Şengün Most Improved, Quinn Snyder, Coach of the Year. I'm not going to sit here and just shit on, you know, Jokic's defense, but a Depoy is pretty much out of the question, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the standings. It's pretty hard to, you know, in a fantasy draft especially, lose more than 12 games. But we somehow, you know what? 12 games it is. Or win more than 12 games, excuse me. Ivy, Mobley, Jabari Smith Jr., AJ Griffin. I mean, this team is just... They're young, and I think that's kind of what it comes down to, is just this team is just super young and super inexperienced. And to be honest with you, I don't know if Dwayne Casey's going to be the guy to carry me to the promised land. So Giannis in the Grizzlies and Donovan Mitchell in the New York Knicks. what could have been Knicks fans, but I mean, hey, they've been having a hell of a run, even though they did lose to the Hornets last night. But we're not getting into that. Drew Holiday and Giannis still teammates. They had Nikola Vucevic, DeAndre Hunter. You can make an argument that this is a better core that the Bucks have right now. Better than the core the Bucks have right now. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, Vucevic, I think, has had a pretty tough year. Then the Knicks here, Devontae Graham, Donovan Mitchell-Davis. Not a bad team. I think the Grizzlies are going to smoke them, though. Why do I speak? Donovan Mitchell goes on to win Finals MVP as a hell of a series. And yeah, we're into offseason 1 out of 3. There's only going to be a 3-season rebuild. So we have 2 off seasons. Let's hit the draft lottery. Obviously, a pretty important moment for us. We are obviously going to be projected the number 1 overall pick. What do we end up with? We fall all the way to 5 because every single time it always happens. It always happens. And I have some ideas of what I want to do with this team. You know, I've obviously drafted a lot of these young... Ooh. I'm just going to float the idea out there. If Steve Kerr's in, okay. And yeah, I'll just take Mike Stauffer. Mike, welcome back. You're my coach every time. All right, let's head up to the draft with the 5th overall pick. I kind of want to move up, and I think we have the option to move up. I don't think it's going to be that hard, especially with some of the assets we have. So let's go ahead and make a trade. We are going to try to get number 2 overall here from the Golden State Warriors. Acquiring this 2nd overall pick obviously gives us multiple options, whether we want to draft Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson. I'm not going to get Victor Wembanyama. I've obviously drafted him before, and I've drafted Henderson before, and I've drafted Miller before, but I really want to give Chet Holmgren a chance. I want to see how he can kind of end up developing, and if I go ahead and draft Victor, he's obviously never going to get that chance. So, we're going to offer them number 5 in Ty Washington Jr., who is 2 stars. Pretty nice right there. And then I don't have a ton of future draft picks, but that's all it really takes. So, assuming Victor Wembanyama goes number 1 and whoever has the Wizards don't blow this pick, okay, they do not. It means we now have our option of guys. So, obviously, I think it kind of comes down to these 2. A lot of people have actually been telling me to draft Nick Smith Jr., but when I have the 2nd overall pick, that really doesn't make a ton of sense for me, I don't think. I think I can get him in another video because I have seen how well he progresses in some of the numbers he does put up. But I think in a video like this, I want either Henderson or Miller. And so if I'm really thinking about kind of the needs of this team right now, I mean, if I go position by position, there's obviously a world that I move Jaden Ivey back to the shooting guard spot because I think he's a clear upgrade over Shaedon Sharpe. AJ Griffin wasn't terrible for us, but there also could be a world where Brandon Miller is a clear upgrade over him. So it kind of comes down to what do I want here. And, you know, for me, who do I want to start more, Shaedon Sharpe or AJ Griffin? And honestly, I'm really thinking it might be AJ Griffin here. So I think Shaedon Sharpe is going to probably move to the bench. We're going to move Jaden Ivey back to the shooting guard spot, which means that all likely scenario is that Scoot Henderson is going to be our point guard for the remainder of the video. I think it's the smartest move to make. I think he's the 2nd best prospect in this class. That's just my gut reaction right now. And on a team that wins 12 games, you need as much talent as possible. So obviously getting all these guys back is great. We don't really need to do anything in free agency because we obviously can't really do anything in free agency. I don't know how Rodney McGruder ended up on this team. He obviously didn't play. So could we potentially make a trade or 2? I mean, it's obviously possible. I think if I'm really thinking about this, like what big move can I make with this team that's not going to impact like the future of this video too much? And so obviously we'll have Henderson here. I might need to find myself a new backup point guard. That could include trading Brandon Boston Jr. just because, again, my options are pretty limited. I can't really go out and sign anybody. So yeah, I mean, I like the way this team's look. I'll probably include Trendon Watford as well. So maybe let's see if we can find a little bit of a trade. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but Killian Hayes is entering the final year of his rookie contract, and he would be a pretty good upgrade over Blake Wesley at the backup point guard spot, at least according to 2K. Anyway, so he's a 76 overall. We're going to offer Brandon Boston Jr. and Trendon Watford. Neither of these guys really have to be moved, but I'd like to get a decent backup point guard. It's not a shot at Blake Wesley. It's just kind of the reality of the situation when every other position is pretty decent. So, Killian Hayes, not going to happen. And how about a 2nd? I'm not giving up a 1st. They take another 2nd, and yeah, basically solidifies this where we have our 10-man rotation, and I will hopefully see you guys at the start of year 2 with some pretty progressed young players. The start of year 2 is here. This team's kind of coming together nicely. There's some progression happening, which is obviously really, really great. We have a new head coach in town in Mike Stauffer, and I'm feeling pretty good about this year. We're not going to win 12 games again, obviously, but we might be a fringe playoff team. We might not make it. I don't really know. Here's how it's going to look. It's Scoot Henderson, Jaden Ivey, AJ Griffin, Evan Mobley, and Chet Holmgren. It's obviously awesome to see Evan Mobley up to a 90 overall. Really need him to dominate this season if we want to do anything. The bench is progressing actually much better than I thought it would. Shaedon Sharpe, Jabari Smith Jr., Killian Hayes, Jalen Williams, and Marjan Beauchamp. It's not a bad bench whatsoever. I think if they play well, and obviously the starting five plays well, and everybody continues to progress, I think sky's the limit. We'll see. See you guys at the end of year 2 here in Detroit. Year 2 ends at 38-44, which obviously isn't great. It's probably not a playoff spot. It could maybe be a play-in spot. I've seen teams sneak in with records around there, so we'll find out. Luka is your MVP. Amen Thompson wins Rookie of the Year. Would have been cool if Scoot could have got it, but nonetheless, I got to draft Amen Thompson at some point as well. Victor Wembanyama, 6th Man of the Year. I can't believe you're not starting him. Nick Claxton, Depoy, Cade Cunningham, Most Improved. Really sticking it to me for not drafting him. And Wes Unseld Jr. is your Coach of the Year. So let's take a look at the standings. We ended up being in the play-in. So we are a 9 seed here. We are in the play-in. We'll be taking on the Miami Heat in the first round. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Washington. Okay. So maybe you are starting Victor. I don't even understand this at all. That's the West if you want to take a look and pause it. Not that you really know who's on what team. Here are the numbers. Jaden Ivey, Scoot Henderson, Evan Mobley, Jabari Smith Jr., AJ Griffin, Chet Holmgren, Sharp. You know, I like this team, man. I really, really do. And I stand by them. I really think this is a good and a young, talented team. Who does Miami have? James Harden, Jalen Green. Also could have potentially been a good pick, but he would have been going in. Would he have been going into the final year of his deal here? No, I wouldn't have. I should have drafted better, I think. But you know what? I like Evan Mobley. I really do. And he's a 90 overall. Let's sim through this game. We end up winning this game, so now we have to beat Toronto in order to get the 8 seed. John Morant, holy shit. Okay, and DeJounte Murray. That is a very, very good and very dynamic backcourt. Let's see if we end up winning and we end up losing. Toronto beats us. We're not in the playoffs. And we are hoping to win a championship next year. God damn it. Okay. Tatum and the Magic are the Eastern Conference champs, and Zion and I almost said Pelicans. It's just such a natural thing to flow out of my mouth. Zion and the Suns are Western champs. You can take a look at both these squads, and yeah, they're both pretty good. So let's see what happens. Tatum and the Magic go on to get it done. He wins the Finals MVP at 26, and let's head into our final offseason. I mean, again, it would be kind of nice if we could maybe like sign somebody, but obviously we can't. So that's kind of the one tricky situation. We are currently projected the 12th overall selection, and we sit there at 12th. Okay, yeah, let's just get into the offseason. We only have one player under contract right now, which means we're really not making any significant trades. And by under contract, I mean we have to pick up their option. And yeah, that happens after the draft. So I guess we're going to be drafting somebody at number 12. I'm fine with that. I think maybe drafting a backup point guard, potentially backup small forward. Could be my oh, yep, 100%. Bronny James, welcome to the team. I've seen how well he progresses. Not that we really have time to let him progress, but I'll take Bronny James on this team 10 times out of 10. And yeah, picking up obviously the option on all these players right here. Qualifying, Killian Hayes can go. We can't give him qualifying offers. Keelan Martin, no thank you. And yeah, man. So if we want to make a trade, this is it. I mean, we got to do it now. And so let me really sit back, look at the way this team's constructed, and then go from there, because I think we might need to make at least one trade. I don't know if it'll be possible, but I'm going to try to get Scotty Barnes here from the Golden State Warriors. Him and AJ Green are actually only half a star off in terms of value, but 88 over 81 overall is, yeah, I'm going to take the 88. And Scotty Barnes actually listed as a small forward. So, yeah, he hasn't, like, been putting up, like, mind-breaking numbers, but I think in the way of 2K's, like, system and when the simulation is going, I think the higher overalls tend to help a lot, at least in my experience. So I actually tried to do this already, including Marjan Beauchamp instead of AJ Griffin, and didn't really want to do it. So I really don't have a ton of other assets to give up. It's only draft picks, and I don't even know if they're going to take this. So if they don't take this, I'm basically shit out of luck, and they're not going to. So I'll try it with Franz Wagner as well, who is my other option here. But if they don't take that, then I'm done, basically. I can't really pull off any other trades. So AJ Griffin, who was only 3 stars to them, which obviously isn't great. Blake Wesley, there's no way they're taking this. There's just absolutely not a chance. You know what? Actually, oh, shit. Well, they agree to that. All right, Franz Wagner, welcome to the team. What I was actually going to say is maybe I'll go 9-man rotation, just not have a backup here behind Evan Mobley. But honestly, I think Jabari Smith Jr. in terms of depth is going to help us out a lot. So this is it heading into the final year. I mean, again, I need Chet Holmgren to progress. He's just, I mean, don't get me wrong, 12 and 10.5 is not anything to be super upset about. But I really think if we want a chance, he needs to take that next step along with, obviously, Scoot Henderson. So that is it. That's what the team's going to be. I will see you guys at the start of the third and final year. We're going to try to do basically the impossible right now. This is a team that has not even been into the playoffs yet. No, the play-in doesn't count, and we're trying to win a championship here. all in basically 2 off seasons. And honestly, it's looking pretty good. Progression's hitting, which is obviously nice, but this is it. This is our final chance. It's Scoot Henderson, Jaden Ivey, Franz Wagner, Evan Mobley, and Chet Holmgren. The bench unit, Shaden Sharp, Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Williams, Marjon Beauchamp, and Bronny James. It's all or nothing, man. I'll see you guys at the end of the third and final year. I guess when that progression kicks in, it really kicks in because we go 74-8. And yeah, for a team that hasn't been in the playoffs, that's obviously an unbelievable record, and it's great that the progression is going super well and obviously winning a ton of regular season games, but you know, we got to do it in the playoffs now, which is a whole other animal. Luka averages a triple-double, does win MVP, Isaiah Collier, Rookie of the Year. James Harden, 6th man. Robert Williams, Defensive Player of the Year. Victor Wembanyama, Most Improved. And yeah, Stafford's going to take home Coach of the Year. So again, I mean, 74 wins is awesome. I feel like it's almost every single video now that we're hitting 74-plus wins, but it doesn't really matter if we don't go out and do it when it matters most. So here's the stats. Feel free to pause at any point in time if you do wish. Rebounds was Mobley, and assists was Scoot Henderson. Who we got in round 1? Let's sim the play, and it's going to be the Miami Heat, who just had James Harden. What in the world? You can't explain to me that there's a world that you're starting Trey Jones over James. It just makes no sense. Come on, 2K. I mean, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. James Harden is almost getting to the point where I feel like he's underrated. I mean, I think the James Harden, it's not even like disrespect. He's just not getting really credit that he deserves because Sixers are going to be a problem in the playoffs. And as a Celtics fan, it's not often that I'll say that. They're going to be tough. Curry, hero, tremendous shooting backcourt. Keegan Murray here, Christian Wood. Steph Curry scares me no matter what the rest of his team looks like, and that's a pretty decent team around him. So we're 2-2 with them right now. We go up 3-2. We're going to Game 7. Son of a bitch. This is what I mean. It doesn't matter if you win 74 games because Steph Curry just owns your fucking franchise. At least we can say we lost the eventual NBA champs. But yeah, man, maybe I underplayed how hard this rebuild challenge is. But you know what? We still made a really good team. I mean, how many 85 pluses do we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we had 7 85 plus overall. So I mean, still made a hell of a team. I don't know if I made the right pick with Evan Mobley, but he's a 96. So obviously we did something right there, but I mean, again, there's other guys that I probably could have taken that maybe would have performed a little better. I don't know. I'm not going to put it on Mobley. As always, though, thanks so much for watching. As always, you guys have any other video ideas, let me know down below in the comment section. You guys are new around here, do me a favor, sub to the channel, and leave a like. All right, that is it for this one. Once again, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.